Marino DHing. Been a regular DH. He's a transfer from New Mexico Junior College. He was 0 for 3 in the first meeting between these teams. And one of the reasons that UT Arlington was able to get him, he was a high school teammate of Ryan Black, the shortstop, or the second baseman, I should say, for the Mavs. See that wind already whipping things around. It's picked up since we arrived at the ballpark, Rich.
Yeah, it has. Probably, I mean, they're blowing pretty straight now. They were blowing almost halfway diagonal towards the ground a little bit ago.
It is coming straight at home plate. It's a really rare northeast wind. I mean, you've played 100 games here and coached 100 or more games here. You could probably count on one hand the northeast wind days.
Yeah, definitely with blowing straight in from center field. Usually it's blowing in from left field, just straight north wind.
Jackson Nicholas able to throw out J.D. Marino to start this game. You can pitch with confidence, throw the ball in the strike zone, get it elevated, and you should be able to get a lot of outs tonight.
Yeah, ball's not going to carry like it has been the last couple of weekends here. You're going to have to really get into one with it blowing straight in from center field. Sometimes when it's blowing in from left field, you can get it out to right. It'll kind of help it hook that way around the pole.
Yeah, those lefties can hit that foul pole hook down the right field line when it's typically just out of the northwest. This one is lifted toward the Oklahoma bullpen down the left field line. Ryan Black, he's got a little gap power, leads this team with 14 doubles. He's driven in 6 runs in his last 4 games out of Grand Prairie, Texas. Mansfield Lake Ridge High School, second team all WAC last year. Carson Atwood, just a steady performer. Silo High School down in the Ardmore area. As this one is lifted to left, Pettis journeys back to the warning track and pulls that one in. On a non-windy day, or if the wind is coming out of the south, that's a home run, but not today.
Pettis took a good angle on that, cut back on it. The ball blew back across his body, made a good catch, but like you said, that's a home run a couple weekends ago.
67 degrees, southwest winds at 14, but they are gusting to 25 miles per hour. It actually should be northeast winds at 14, gusting to 25. If it was a southwest wind, it would be 1-0 UT Arlington. And the batter is Tyson Pointer. As we take a look at Rich's Keys, they are presented by Riverwind Casino. It's always a good time. Rich, what do you have for us keys-wise in this one?
Well, the biggest thing is keep swinging the bats and stay hot. For UTA, they need to limit strikeouts. They've been striking out a lot at the plate.
In fact, they had a 15 strikeout game, did the Mavs over the weekend. Something Clay Van Hook said, just got to get better. A lot of swings and misses. They have faced a very tough non-conference schedule. Of course, playing Oklahoma once already. They faced TCU. They faced Arizona State. One of the strongest non-conference strength of schedules in America. Oklahoma, by the way, has the #1 strength of schedule overall in college baseball. Number 24 RPI. Tyson Pointer, the right fielder, an 0-2 count. Pointer's from Dallas and came through Odessa College. And he had a double and a triple in the meeting between these two teams down in Arlington. Leading this UTA team with a .305 batting average. Actually second on this team at .305. 2-2, one hopper, speared by Willits. And the throw is in time. Atwood works a 1-2-3 first. We'll give you the Sooner batting lineup when we come back to Norman.
See, Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare home insurance options so you can get what you need without overpaying.
Yeah, we spent a lot on this kitchen.
Oh, yeah, really high-end stuff.
Sorry, that's our ghost.
Yeah, okay.
It's more annoying than anything.
Too mold behind the backsplash. Yep, that's mold.
Well then, let's see if we can save you some money with Progressive.
building our community stronger throughout South Central Oklahoma. So Mackenzie, Madron, Carmichael, then Michael Snyder and Jackson Nicholas, Kendall Pettis, and then things get a little interesting with Jackson Willits, the shortstop, batting 7th. Isaiah Lane starting at third base, his 8th start of the year. And in center field, in the outfield for the first time as a starter, is Rocco Garza Gongora. He will bat 9th, and he'll play center field. I believe it's Rocco's first start as a Sooner in center field. And on the mound is a familiar face to a lot of these Sooners. In fact, he's a former Sooner. He is Aaron Calhoun. He was on Oklahoma's College World Series runner-up team. In fact, he pitched in the Virginia Tech Super Regional on Oklahoma's path all the way to Omaha. But 26 total games as a Sooner. He is the starter tonight for Clay Van Hook, who, of course, was an assistant coach on that College World Series team in 2022. But what's important for Aaron Calhoun tonight, Rich?
Really, on a night like tonight, just throw strikes. These midweek games are usually 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 or 9 pitchers trying to save pitching for the weekend and not overtax guys. But if he can keep the ball down and keep his pitch count down, he can probably get 3 or 4 innings.
8th appearance for Calhoun. All of them starts. First pitch swinging is McKenzie, and it's foul over on the third base side over near the camera well. Look out. That's a hard hat area. And a foul ball for strike 1, McKenzie. That almost hit our videographer, Mia, over there, Rich.
Yeah, you got to get them some helmets. Third base coach got to wear helmets. I'm surprised they don't.
Got a little protection from the net. But those pop-ups, you can't see them. Got to stay focused inside the lens. McKenzie got hit by that one.
Those hurt.
Toss that bat away a little. Fiery.
A little frustration. Got him down. Yeah. Good thing it looked like it got most of his calf and didn't hit a bone or his knee.
Boy, that is close. About another inch, and you get that outside bone on your knee, but they're going to let Anthony jog it off. McKenzie having an excellent year. 8 out of his last 17. And here is Bryce Madron. Takes this one outside. Madron has scored 42 runs this year. That is the second most in the Big 12 Conference this season. It's 4 for 10 in the Bedlam Series over the weekend. Homered on Saturday and on Sunday. He's just been ultra productive since he's been an Oklahoma Sooner.
He's a very consistent hitter. I mean, he wake up and get 2 hits a day, it seems like.
Batting .357 overall. And riding an 11-game hitting streak is Madron.
Top 5 guys in this lineup have been very productive and consistent. See if we can get the bottom third to get going.
Calhoun deals up and in, and he has given a 4-pitch walk to Madron after the hit by pitch on McKenzie. First 2 Sooners have reached.
Like we're talking about, you got to throw strikes, especially when the wind's blowing in here. You get away with some here and there out of the zone, guys chasing with the wind blowing out because they're trying to do too much. With the wind blowing in, you can't give up those free bases.
And here is Easton Carmichael as the Sooners set the tables for a potential big inning in the first against their former teammate Aaron Calhoun. Calhoun started last week against TCU, pitched just 1 inning, but it was a clean inning. Didn't allow any hits or runs. As they throw in a fairly close play on McKenzie there.
That's a called timing play to second base there. Usually what happens is the catcher will drop his glove when the pitcher's looking. He knows when to turn and throw.
There's a strike on the outer half to Easton. Carmichael homered on Friday night in the Bedlam Series. He's batting .400 in Big 12 conference play. And for the season, 342. This one is hit right at the left fielder, Ryan Ellis. One away.
Yeah, he hit that ball well. Squared it up, but like we were talking about, on a day like today, that's just an out instead of a home run or double off the wall.
Yeah, that's certainly much more adventurous on a typical south wind here at Elldale Mitchell Park. Here's the first baseman, Michael Snyder.
See if Snyder can get a base hit here, find a line drive in a gap, pick up a few more RBIs to add to his team-leading 36.
And that number finds him 5th in the Big 12 coming in. Homered on Saturday against Oklahoma State, had 5 hits in the 3 games up at O'Brate Stadium. Sooners taking the middle game of the Bedlam Series this year, swatting 12 home runs in the series. 19-10 middle game up at O'Brate. And then 9-6 on Friday night and 9-5 in the finale on Sunday. And Skip Johnson said it's just 2 or 3 innings. You lose a couple of innings and it costs you a series like that. But Oklahoma remains tied for first place in the Big 12 with West Virginia, both 8-4. It'll be a big series for the Sooners when Kansas State comes to town this weekend. Kansas State is tied for 3rd. Got a logjam there in 3rd place. Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Cincinnati, and Texas are all 7-5 in Big 12 play. 2-1 is cut on and missed. Is there an adjustment for a pitcher when you've got the wind at your back and coming as heavily as it is tonight, Rich?
Well, you can get away with a little more. You know, you don't have to be as fine. A lot of times that frees guys up. But it seems like the first 2 hitters here with the 2 walks, it's kind of been all over the place. You know, Carmichael lined out, got away with one there.
A full count to Michael Snyder. Snyder, the University of Washington transfer. He has reached base safely in 19 straight games. Make it 20, and the bases are loaded. A hit batsman and 2 walks. McKenzie to 3rd, and Madron on down to 2nd.
This is the guy you don't want to see with the bases loaded if you're UTA right now.
Jackson Nicholas, 16 of his last 29 at the plate. And he has homered in 5 out of his last 7 games. Leads the Sooners with 7 home runs on the year. Just as you said, Rich, not what Clay Van Hook and the Mavericks wanted to start this one.
I mean, as hot as he's been, I don't know if I've seen a run like that. 16, that's amazing.
Yeah, 16 of 29 in his last 8. 1-0 from Calhoun. Upstairs, a throw gets past the 3rd baseman, Bethel. Up and on the move is McKenzie. He'll score the first run of the night. And that'll be a throwing error charged to Parker Earhart, the catcher, to give the Sooners this 1-0 lead.
And Earhart's got a really good arm, talking to Coach Van Hook. But he just bounced that ball in there, and Bethel couldn't hit the runner. Came off of McKenzie and bounced out of there. Yeah, that's a tough way to give up your first run.
Yeah, that's a tough error, but you have to charge it to somebody. And they tag it on the catcher in those situations. Mike Trapasso, Mike Taylor, and Ben Brazil are the assistant coaches for the Mavs. This little visit here.
That creates another even better opportunity for Nicholas with runner on 3rd base, less than 2 outs on 1st base open. I'm not sure I would walk him.
2-0 to Jackson Nicholas. And just as you said, maybe not an outright intentional walk, but the old unintentional, intentional walk?
Yeah, the old pitch around.
Yes. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Nicholas to reload the bases for Kendall Pettis now. A hit batsman, 3 walks, and only 1 out in the inning.
That was a double play back in order for UTA, but I'd like to see Kendall get going. I mean, he's too good of a player to be hitting what he is in 264. I think it's just a matter of time before he gets hot.
Pettis was 1 for 3 in the Bedlam series over the weekend. Or 2 for 11, I should say. He was 1 for 3 against UT Arlington in the first meeting. One and 1 to Kendall Pettis. Kendall Pettis is approaching the top 10 in stolen bases in Sooner history. Lifts this one to right field. Tyson Pointer going to make the catch. Madron tags at third as the throw comes in high. Madron scores, and Nicholas is going to move from first to second on the throw home. Sooners take a 2-0 lead on a sacrifice fly by Kendall Pettis.
Yeah, good job by Kendall. Obviously, UTA doesn't play here very often, so I'm not sure how to play the win. That was kind of a fiasco for Pointer out there. Not sure why he threw the ball home to begin with. He didn't have a play there. Just turn around and throw it to second. Keep him on first. Keep Nicholas on first.
So the Sooners take a 2-0 lead without the benefit of a base hit, and one here by Jackson Willits would go a long way toward increasing things. Willits 3 home runs in the Bedlam series. Had the 2 home run game on Friday night. 7 runs batted in 4 games last week for the freshman shortstop. And a 1-1 count on him here. He had a base hit, a double, in fact, against UT Arlington the first time these teams collided.
I think he's getting more accustomed to the speed of the game in the first part of this season. It seemed like he was a little overmatched, but he's starting to get his feet on the ground and get going.
Skip Johnson said, yeah, it's a fight for confidence. Like David and Goliath. And you've got to slay the giant, and the giant is you. Battle yourself.
It's true. This game is so mental. It's tough up there at the plate to expect to hit all the time when things aren't going well.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Definitely a mind game. You got to be able to tell yourself it's going to be a pitch and I'm going to hit it every time.
Willits pulls this one foul. Willits drives this one back up the middle. That'll score 2. Jackson Willits with the 2-run single to score Snyder and McKenzie. And it's 4-0 Oklahoma in the first. Jackson Willits continues to swing a red-hot bat for the Sooners.
Good at bat there. He got behind in the count, fouled a few pitches off until he got one to hit. He just hit a missile right back up the middle.
Really coming around is Sooner freshman shortstop Jackson Willits. The inning continues here for Isaiah Lane, making the 8th start of his Sooner career, and he bounces this one through the right side. It evades the glove of the diving Ryan Black. Willits will churn to third, and it's back-to-back base hits here for Willits and Lane, and the Sooners with 4 runs home already with a chance to do some more damage.
Isaiah Lane being aggressive. The second baseman was shading up the middle, and got just enough of it to get it by the diving Ryan Black.
How about these freshmen? And this is without Jason Walk in the lineup tonight, Rich. He's had a really good run. Jason Walk is running a 9-game hitting streak.
Yeah, he's done a good job since Spikerman's gotten hurt. Obviously, you'd love to have John in there, but Walk is coming in as a freshman, held it down very well, and outstanding defensive player who can really run and go get it.
Yeah, Jason Walk had a square and slash or bunt and slash home run against Oklahoma State on Sunday. Squared to bunt, pulled it back, and hit a home run. And speaking of John Spikerman, he was ruled able to run starting with the Bedlam series. Saw him before the game, holding a bat, not really swinging any, real full-out swings just yet. But he's holding a bat again, and that's good news for the Sooners coming off that hamate surgery.
Yeah, a key part of this team for sure. Leader, great base runner, can steal bags for you. But like I said, Walk filling in as a freshman's done a great job.
Rocco Garza-Gongora with a 2-1 count. Rocco's last start came on March the 26th. Starting out in center field tonight. He's the 9th batter in the first inning, and he drives this one down the left field line into the Oklahoma bullpen. Count goes to 2-2 on Rocco Garza-Gongora. Big 2-run single in the inning by Jackson Willits. Sooners get 4 here in the bottom of the first. To the shortstop, Gregory. He'll take it the long way to first, and the inning is over. But for Oklahoma, it is 4 runs on 2 hits, and they bat 9 in the inning. Headlining the show, the of the UT Arlington Mavericks, Clay Van Hook. He was Sooner assistant for Skip Johnson, who recruited him and signed him out of high school to come play for Skip. And what a coaching resume already as far as mentorship. Playing for Skip and then Augie Garrido, and he was an assistant for Wayne Graham at Rice before coming to Oklahoma. Will Karsten comes out here for Skip Johnson. Oklahoma makes a pitching change to start the second inning. Hey, the stuff is there for Will Karsten. Rich, he's just got to find the strike zone, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'd like to see him take advantage of this opportunity. That's a pretty good start right there. 1 pitch, 1 out. He's had his ups and downs, but like you said, the stuff is there. This is a good opportunity for him to get out there with the lead and throw a lot of strikes and get some outs, build some confidence.
Hit hard right at Michael Snyder there by Ryan Ellis, the left fielder, and that brings in the catcher, Parker Earhart. Off the end of the bat, and foul by Parker Earhart, who transferred from Galveston College. He is a junior from Sugar Land, Texas. And as you said earlier, they really like his catch and throw ability in that catcher position, though he did commit the error. It really wasn't that bad of a throw.
Yeah, just happened to get a piece of McKenzie kicked out of there.
Willits on the move for out number 2.
Good start so far for Karsten.
He'll take 3 pitches and 2 outs. Will Karsten, the senior from San Antonio, spent 2 seasons at McLennan College. Won a junior college national title there at McLennan before coming to Oklahoma prior to last season. 18 appearances last year. Just gotten roughed up here recently, his last few outings. And they rested him in the Bedlam series. Didn't pitch against Oklahoma State. But as Skip Johnson says, you got to keep running guys back out there to help them regain confidence.
It's kind of the same thing we're talking about with Willits, just on the mound. Keep getting him out there, let him throw some pitches. Maybe he'll find his way and gain a little confidence, a little bit at a time, until he gets back all the way.
1-1 is up and away. Skip Johnson is going to give you the tools, physically, mentally, to succeed. But you have to be able to go out in these situations and do it. And there's no substitute for this. Armstrong pretty well hit to straightaway center field. Rocco Garza-Gongora ventures back and pulls it in. And a 1-2-3 inning for Will Karsten in his first inning on the mound for the Sooners tonight. 4-0 Oklahoma headed in the second. UT Arlington does as well. Senior Colin Horton, 6 foot out of Keller, Texas, is on to throw for the Mavs after Aaron Calhoun went 1 inning and gave up 4 runs. Colin Horton is a transfer from both New Orleans and Odessa Junior College. Spent 2021 at Odessa Junior College and then 2 seasons at New Orleans. This is his first season as a Maverick. He will deal with the top of the Sooner batting lineup. Oklahoma batted 9 in the first and plated those 4 runs on 2 hits, but the walks and the hit batsmen were a problem for Calhoun. He walked 3 and hit 1. Anthony McKenzie was hit by a pitch to start, and he scored on a throwing error by the catcher, Parker Earhart, down at third base.
Yeah, walks and hit batters, those free bases in college baseball show up big every time, it seems like. OU was on a streak there a couple weeks ago where they were walking a bunch of guys against Lamar and ended up giving up a lot of unearned runs on that weekend.
In the air, right center field. This one is belted by McKenzie. Back to the warning track is Tyson Pointer, the right fielder, to grab it.
Yeah, not today. That ball's way out. Wind's blowing from the south.
Yeah. That's almost into the teeth of the wind where McKenzie hit that one. And you know he's saying that to himself. Man.
Yeah, those are tough. I mean, as a hitter, you got to try to make adjustments on days like today. You know, hard ground balls, low line drives.
Mavericks shift the defense. They bring the shortstop, Kason Gregory, slightly to the second base side of the infield, as Bryce Madron walked and scored his first time. You know, the other thing that makes Madron so effective is he'll take his walks. He's drawn 28 of them this year. It's basically 1 per game. And he skies this one on the infield. Now, the wind's got a hold of this one. Gregory, the shortstop, that is not easy.
No, definitely not. You got to keep, that's what I tell people all the time. You want to learn how to catch fly balls and play in Oklahoma. The wind's blowing all over the place. It may be blowing in first 4 innings, blowing out the next 4. You just never know. You just got to keep your feet moving. You get stationaries when you get in trouble.
It could make even the best infielders and outfielders have a bad day. As Easton Carmichael is in. He hit one on a rope right at the left fielder Ellis his first time. This one also to the left side, and he decides, you know, I'm going to put this one on the ground rather than hit it in the air, and he has his first hit of the night.
Yeah, that's how you have success when the wind's blowing in. I guess the only good thing is it's not freezing cold. Usually when it's blowing in, it's really cold.
This is one of those nights where our man Blake Brewster in that left-handed batter's box where he'd turn on one and just sneak one past the foul pole down the right field line.
Yeah, old Blake, I coached him in high school too.
Michael Snyder walked his first time. Snyder scored on Willitz's 2-run single. See a .321 batting average with 6 home runs. That one is hit hard, but well foul.
That's fair on a round field, but unfortunately we're not on a round field.
On the move is Carmichael. This one hit to the right fielder, Tyson Pointer. Plenty of real estate out there. 2-out single by Easton Carmichael goes by the boards, but Oklahoma takes a 4-0 lead. Academic Health System.
Oh, yeah. Hot honey pizza.
Spring game will be at 1 o'clock up the road at the Palace on the Prairie. Those guys are just getting warmed up for tailgating season this fall. By the way, the Oklahoma season football opener against Temple announced for a Friday night kickoff, a Friday night lights at Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium to close out the month of August. Be a little cooler than that Saturday afternoon game, I promise you now, Rich.
Yeah, but it's still, it's still hot.
You take it, though, right?
Yeah, you'll take a little bit less, but yeah, it's better than at 2 o'clock or 2:30.
Will Karsten is back out on the mound for the Sooners, facing Tate Bethel, and then Berkeley and Gregory, 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup. Will Karsten, a little bit of confidence for him after a 1-2-3 second inning. Got him swinging. First strikeout for Sooner pitching tonight.
Now batting for UTA. Center fielder number 15, Garrison Berkeley.
Good pitch. He's doing a good job getting ahead of the count through 7 pitches the first inning. See if he can do the same here. One of my old pitching coaches used to always say that if you can do it in 10 pitches or less, you're doing good.
Will Karsten is on that pace as he deals a strike to the center fielder Garrison Berkeley. Berkeley is a TCU transfer, originally out of Aledo, Texas. There's another fastball for a strike. Berkeley had a pair of hits on Sunday for UT Arlington, closing out their series against UTRGV. Clay Van Hook said, "We feel like maybe he can start to turn the corner, but it won't be on this at-bat, as he is down on strikes." And Will Karsten has back-to-back strikeouts to start the third.
Yeah, just a good slider. He had no chance. Chase right there. It's hard when guys throwing a tight slider like that. It's really hard to pick up, especially with 2 strikes.
Base is empty, 2 gone, and Carson Gregory, the shortstop, will be the batter.
Like you're talking about, Coach Van Hook was saying the bottom half of this lineup struggled. He said the top half's been pretty consistent, but the bottom half needs to get going to help them out.
They've used a couple of different shortstops this year. Gregory, one of them. They also use Jordan Medellin, who started at shortstop in the first meeting between these two teams. Carson Gregory's 4th year as a Maverick. Had a shoulder injury that sidelined him for most of last season. (3-0) now. So 2 strikeouts, but a 3-0 start here against the number 9 batter, Gregory, for Will Karsten. And he pops a fastball through there.
Do it again. The wind's blowing in, let him hit it.
Down the right field line toward the corner, Madron with a long run, but he'll run out of real estate as that leaks over into the bullpen. And it's a full count on Carson Gregory. UT Arlington, Clay Van Hook certainly not going to shy away from playing that tough schedule that we told you about. That RPI component has been there since his playing days for Augie Garrido. And then Wayne Graham, the Rice coach, was one who really drilled that into his head. As this one is shot through the right side by Gregory. And that's the first hit of the night for the Mavericks. Comes from the number 9 batting shortstop, Carson Gregory.
Yeah, good piece of hitting here. Gets something up out over the plate and drives it the other way. I mean, hit his spot, but good job of hitting. Just drives it in there.
So a 2-out single brings J.D. Moreno, the DH, to the plate. Moreno grounded out to the Sooner second baseman Jackson Nicholas his first time. 1-1 as Carmichael hangs on to that one. Really has found good command of that second pitch, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's 2 changeups in a row there. He had to strike out on the slider, but he's got the changeup looks pretty good. 84 miles an hour. Fastball's been 94, 95.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Moreno. Will Karsten spent that time at McLennan College. Skip Johnson's son Tyler, the head coach there. Junior college started the relationship between these two head coaches. Skip Johnson was at Navarro when Clay Van Hook was coming out of high school, and he was being recruited by other schools, was Clay Van Hook, but Skip Johnson called up, said, I'm coming to town to sign you. And there was no debating. It happened.
Turned down a visit.
Had to call another coach and say, hey, I can't come. Skip Johnson's coming to sign me. It's a throw down to second. Takes a couple of hops. Count will go to 3-2, and Gregory able to steal second base.
Good jump. Good jump there, but Carson just needs to come back in here with a strike and get that third out.
Second stolen base of the season for Carson Gregory. 3-2 is swung on and missed, so striking out the side is what Will Karsten ends up doing. He gives up a base hit to Gregory, but Lee think at him. That's exactly what they've done. 3 innings and 3 pitchers. Austin Wallace is now out there. Saw the start by Aaron Calhoun, then Colin Horton, and now Austin Wallace in a lefty-lefty matchup against Jackson Nicholas. Nicholas drew a 4-pitch walk and then scored on Jackson Willits' base hit in the first. 390 batting average, 7 home runs, leading the Sooners. 1-0 is roped up the middle. Leadoff single for Nicholas in the Sooner third.
Yeah, good. I'll tell you what, he's fun to watch. Him and Madron together, hitting with Easton in there also, but I mean that's just middle. And to hitters like that, you can't make pitches like that right down the middle. You get hurt every time.
So Nicholas now 17 out of his last 30 in his last 9 games. And here is Pettis, who drove in a Sooner run with a sacrifice fly back in the first. Little lob over to first base sends Nicholas back in. That'll even things up at 1-1.
Step off move again. Like to see his regular move. A lot of times, get guys on, just get a big lead one way and try to get it. There it is, right there. Try to get a look at it. See if you can get a read. A lot of left-handers that if you look at their back toe, it'll come up when they're getting ready to pick the first.
Nicholas is on the move anyway. The pitch is up. The throw, a one-hopper, not in time. So Jackson Nicholas able to swipe second base. Nicholas now 6 out of 9 in the stolen base department.
Yeah, good jump. They can get going.
And Pettis drops one down right in front of home plate. Nicholas had a good running start toward third, so Earhart decides not to throw to third. He'll get the easy out at first base for the first out.
Yeah, for a second there from up here, I thought he bunted it and ran into it, which would have been an out. I guess he just deadened it right there in front, didn't make any contact with it.
Jackson Willits to the plate after a two-run single his first time, continuing his red-hot hitting. And with more on him, here's Carly Murray.
Well, Chad, there have been many family moments on OU baseball teams. We had the Minor brothers in the 90s, the Carmichael brothers last year, and this year there's a father-son connection. Associate head coach is coaching his son, Jackson Willits. And, well, the Frosh hit his first collegiate blast on the weekend, along with two more. He's feeling really hot right now. I asked Reggie about it, and he said, yeah, I love it when we score runs, and I don't love it when we don't. So it's safe to say Jackson's not getting any special treatment from his dad, but Reggie's really, really proud of him.
No doubt. Thank you, Carly. And sometimes you might have to have a little different system of messaging. Send in another coach to talk to your son. Skip Johnson said, he's had to do that with his son Tyler on occasion to communicate. You communicate through others. Is that what we're saying, Rich?
Yeah, sometimes. And Reggie's a fiery guy, so I'm sure sometimes it's hard for him to not get onto him or anybody else for that matter. But sometimes it's good to hear it from somebody else.
Little safety squeeze here, and the Sooners score another one. Beautifully executed. Back-to-back bunts by Pettis and Willits. And that chases home Jackson Nicholas to give the Sooners a 5-0 lead.
A good job, late square. Gets it down. Perfectly executed for his third RBI of the game.
So Nicholas has the base hit, steals second, goes to third on the Pettis bunt, and scores on the Willits bunt. And as Rich said, that's 3 runs driven in now for Jackson Willits. Here's Isaiah Lane, who had a base hit his first time.
Freshmen, give him a year or two, weight room with Tim Overton, Lane, Walk, and Willits. They're only going to get better and stronger.
One and two here on Isaiah Lane. Sooners got 4 runs in the first. Added another here. Isaiah Lane sprays this one foul and out of play. Lane drives this one and drops it in front of the left fielder Ryan Ellis for his second hit of the night.
Good piece of hit by the youngster. Stays back. Kept his bat on plane for a long time. That's pretty impressive. Hit it a little bit out front, but being able to keep the barrel in the zone that long gives you a lot more opportunity to get hits.
So here is Rocco Garza-Gongora. Grounded out to the shortstop. Kason Gregory, his first time. Throw over there to try to hold Isaiah Lane tight. This one lifted into the left field foul corner. And over to have a look at it goes Ryan Ellis. Lands in the Sooner bullpen area. Remember, the Sooners at some point will get John Spikerman back. And then you think about this lineup potentially, the way that we've seen Jackson Willits start to come around. And what Jason Walk has done. Not playing tonight, Rich, but he has been on an excellent run here lately, the freshman. 9-game hitting streak for Walk. Rifled up the middle by Rocco. Lane will stop at second.
Yeah, and I think once Walk moved from the 9-hole to leadoff, I think that helped him with his confidence. Another good swing here. Just stays back, gets his hips through, drives right back through the middle.
6 hits now for the Sooners. That is their 3rd hit here in this inning. And back to the top of the order for McKenzie, who bats for the 3rd time in as many innings. McKenzie was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the 1st. And he flied out to the right fielder Tyson Pointer in the 2nd. To 3rd and under the diving Tate Bethel's glove. Around 3rd base, headed to the plate is Lane. And an RBI single by Anthony McKenzie gives Oklahoma a 6-0 lead in the 3rd.
Pitch got in on him a little bit, but found a hole instead of past the diving Bethel.
So Anthony McKenzie plates another. That is his 20th run batted in this year. Still runners at 1st and 2nd. This one is rocketed into right center field by Madron as he turns on it. Lane. Then Garza Gongora scores. McKenzie to 3rd. And the Sooners spin in the merry-go-round.
And like we talked about earlier, he's just such a good hitter. I mean, he gets something belt high, it's almost an instant hit.
So it's the first hit of the night for Bryce Madron. And he drives home Rocco Garza Gongora, who had the base hit earlier in the inning. Sooners send their 8th batter of the inning to the plate. That's Easton Carmichael. Seven nothing Oklahoma in the 3rd. On the move, Madron. He will swipe second base. To left center field and into the gap. Easton Carmichael drives this one all the way to the wall. McKenzie and Madron will score. It's a 2-run double for Easton Carmichael, and it is 9-0 Oklahoma in the 3rd.
Another good piece of hitting. He's leaving the ball up, and I mean, he just ropes that ball left center. I mean, so the top of this lineup is lethal.
Looks like we may have a pitching change, and we will. The Mavericks going to have to go to the bullpen in the middle of the inning. So Colin Horton able to only get 2 outs. He's given up 5 runs to this point. And the new pitcher coming out of the bullpen will be Cade McGlade. Junior from McKinney, Texas, enters the fray when we return. Left-hander comes in. He's the 4th pitcher of the night used by UT Arlington. Oklahoma about to send its 9th batter of the inning, Michael Snyder, to the plate. And here are the numbers on Cade McGlade, Rich.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball pretty well. I mean, 3.0 ERA, 12 innings, 11 strikeouts, and only 5 walks. So he's going to throw strikes. But the way we've been swinging it, I'm not sure if that's a good thing for him or not.
So here is Michael Snyder, 0 for 1, but he walked and scored in the 1st inning. 2 teams. He's a redshirt junior out of McKinney, Texas. Allen High School and came through Odessa College. He was a hitter and a pitcher at Odessa. Last year suffered an early injury, only able to pitch in 1 game before being sidelined by that injury. But first meeting between these teams, he pitched 2 scoreless innings for the Mavericks.
Like I said, his strikeout to walk ratio is good. ERA is pretty low.
just trying to get the Mavericks out of this third inning without any further damage done by this potent Sooner offense. As you said, the top 5 guys just lethal recently. Snyder's been in the mix, but it's 0-2 on Snyder. You think about the way they built this inning as well, Rich. It was kind of small ball in the beginning with a couple of bunts, but then you roll it back up to the top. Madron and Carmichael squaring balls up. That one a comebacker. McGlade records the final outs, but the Sooners once again send 9 batters to the plate. They add 5 more runs on 6 hits. And we will see the third Sooner pitcher of the night. It'll be the right-hander Malachi Witherspoon, one of the Malachi twins on this staff for Skip Johnson. We also have Kyson Witherspoon, but here are the numbers. 10th appearance for Malachi Witherspoon.
Yeah, he throws the ball well. I mean, both the brothers do. He's been doing really well, throwing the ball in the zone. 16 strikeouts, 8 walks. I mean, good ratio. You know, he's got a 5.6, but he's had a couple outings where the wind's been blowing out and got knocked around just a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing about Oklahoma in the springtime. Or, you know, we pick on Oklahoma. This happens in Texas. It happens in Kansas. It happens all over
Tech
the
for sure.
Texas Tech, definitely. You get those wind-blown days, and there's just not much you can do to limit the damage. There's that Oklahoma bullpen.
I remember playing at Tech, man, that ball just flies out of there.
Rip Griffin Park.
Yeah.
You can have a day out there now. Oklahoma will be playing at Texas Tech. In fact, May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We'll see how those scores wind up. Malachi Witherspoon and also Kyson, as well as Scott Mudler, Sooner catcher, all transferred from Northwest Florida State College.
Got their money's worth of those transfers.
Didn't they, though?
Mudler's been good behind the plate.
Yeah, Mudler had a 6 RBI game for Oklahoma Saturday against Oklahoma State, including a home run. And the Witherspoons have been very good. In fact, Malachi got into the Bedlam series the other day, pitched a scoreless inning. And Kyson, before last weekend, Kyson Witherspoon led the Big 12 in earned run average. Got knocked around by Oklahoma State, though, in the Bedlam series. Here's Ryan Black under the glove of Malachi Witherspoon. And a leadoff single into center field for the second baseman. Ryan Black can really swing it. 14 doubles this year. He drove in 57 runs for the Mavericks last year.
Wow. That's a lot, especially for a 2-hole hitter. Like you said, he's just a consistent staple in this lineup.
Here is Tyson Pointer. Grounded out to Oklahoma shortstop Jackson Willits his first time.
You know, getting Mudler too helps, you know, give Carmichael a break back there. You know, have 2 solid catchers that are interchangeable. You know, both can hit. You don't really lose a whole lot offensively or defensively.
0-2 the count on Pointer.
Good job there. Try to get him to chase. Carmichael, good job smothering that pitch.
Fastball just a little bit in, 96 miles per hour. Try not to make a big deal of the radar gun, but every now and then you look up there and go, whoa, what was that?
Yeah.
If I could throw 96, I would look every time, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. first got the radar gun in here, Jack Geesey, you'd get mad at guys looking back up there. There's nothing up there for you.
Quit being a head snapper and snapping your head around looking at that.
Concentrate on the plate.
There goes Black. In the hole, it's short, backhanded by Willits. One hop throw and not quite in time. Was well played on both ends. Good play by Willits, and Snyder, good job to hang in there. But an infield hit for Tyson Pointer, giving the Mavericks runners at first and second and nobody out.
Yeah, pretty good play by Willits. I mean, the only thing he could have done was get rid of it just a hair faster, but he beat it. Kind of in between hop, kind of kept Snyder from reaching out further to maybe make that closer or an out.
So Black at second base, Pointer at first. And here's the cleanup man now, Ryan Ellis. Ellis lined out to Michael Snyder, the first baseman, his first time. This time he hits one under the glove of Lane down the left field line. It'll be picked up by Kendall Pettis. Black is around third, headed to the plate, and he will score on an RBI base hit by Ryan Ellis. It is 3 straight hits to produce a run for the Mavericks, who get their first run of the night.
Yeah, just got pitch over the outer half and snuck it by and diving Isaiah Lane. Good job keeping it fair. But he let that ball travel. Good piece of hitting.
So UTA able to get run number 1 here in the top of the 4th, but still nobody out, and runners at second and third. And Parker Earhart, the catcher, will be the batter. That one airmailed. It skims the glove, goes back to the back screen, and Pointer will score on a wild pitch. 9-2 Sooners.
Definitely not the start Malachi is looking for. So he can try to get back in the zone and see if he can find some outs.
Earhart grounded out to the shortstop Willits, his first time. Ryan Ellis takes third base on that wild pitch. Parker Earhart had a red-hot series for UT Arlington. He hit 3 home runs in 6 at-bats in their series against UTRGV.
That'll get it done.
Mavericks won one of those 3 games against UTRGV, and they have a big series coming up this weekend against Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon leads the WAC at 9-3. UT Arlington 9-6. And what's important is the top 4 teams in the WAC will get a first-round bye in the conference tournament. And they've got a quick turnaround. They will stop playing on Sunday, their regular season, and then the conference tournament begins on Tuesday. So you got 1 day to travel and get ready. And here's a look what we're talking about. Grand Canyon the lead.
The coach was talking about playing, being that top 4. Like you said, that's a tough turnaround.
Swing and a miss by Earhart. And that's the first out in the 4th inning.
Now back to the Mavericks. First baseman number 11, Tyce Armstrong.
I just climbed the ladder, high fastball, just too much. Too much for Earhart to handle.
Tyce Armstrong will be the batter. He flied out to the center fielder Rocco Garza Gongora his first time. Armstrong out of Conroe, Texas, in the North Houston area. 1-1 pitch over the inner half. And a ball and 2 strikes.
Good breaking ball there. Kind of froze him up on the inner third.
Beautiful breaking pitch. Strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Malachi Witherspoon.
Like I said, another good one.
Now batting for the Mavericks, third baseman and receiver, Tate Bethel.
Yeah, right on the outside corner, just painting the black. It's tough when you go 96 to 80 mile an hour slider. Not a whole lot you can do with that pitch.
Tate Bethel struck out his first time. That was against Will Karsten. Towering fly ball out of play. So UT Arlington started with 3 straight hits. Black, Pointer, and then Ellis. 2 runs across, but now back-to-back strikeouts by Malachi Witherspoon. There's that breaking ball again to make it 0-2.
Dang, everybody wanted that one. Willits and Nicholas are both running off the field.
There's strike 3. So 3 straight strikeouts after 3 straight hits. 2 runs across on 3 hits for the Mavericks as they get their first runs of the night. Standings coming into the night, finding Oklahoma and West Virginia tied at the top, and a big weekend for the Sooners as Pete Hughes, the former Oklahoma head coach, brings his Kansas State Wildcats to town in one that will help determine who will be at the top of the standings. Oklahoma leading here tonight 9-2. Rich, there are still 6 conference series left. We're nowhere near determining who's going to win it.
Yeah, no, it's a long conference play. Like I said, 6 more left, and they've had, what, two already? Two or
Oklahoma
three.
has already played TCU, West Virginia, and Oklahoma State.
Right. They opened up at TCU down there.
So you're essentially 1/3 of the way through conference play. That pitch called a strike 3 to Nicholas. So Jackson Nicholas retired to start the 4th.
I haven't seen that much from Nicholas.
So Cade McGlade has come out of the bullpen and retired the only 2 Sooner batters he has faced. He will now deal with Kendall Pettis, who has 2 sacrifices tonight. Sacrifice fly to drive in a run in the first. And here he hits a bounding ball to the second baseman Black for out number 2. Well, we told you Cade McGlade pitched 2 scoreless innings against Oklahoma in the meeting between these teams in Arlington. He has retired all 3 batters he's faced so far tonight. What a night for Jackson Willits once again. 2-run single for him in the first, and then laid down a bunt, a sacrifice that drove in a 3rd Sooner run in the 3rd. So I've got him at 10 RBIs in his last 5 games.
Said he's got his feet on the ground and seeing the ball well.
2-0 the count. In the air to straightaway center field, and Garrison Berkeley out there. Sooners go 1-2-3 in the 4th. It is Oklahoma 9, UT Arlington 2, headed to the 5th inning. Sooner Baseball is presented by OU Health. In his 2nd season as head coach at UTA, of course, former Oklahoma assistant. Such fond memories of this place. And Skip Johnson, and Carly has more on Clay Van Hook and his time in Norman.
That pitches for the Sinners, number 43,
Just looking back at Clay Van Hook's time as an assistant coach for Skip Johnson after playing for him in junior college, but he was a part of that 2022 Sooner run all the way to the championship game of the College World Series in Omaha, and then took the head coaching job at UT Arlington. And Skip Johnson talk on a regular basis. And, of course, these two teams played earlier this season, Rich, but Clay Van Hook didn't make it all the way through that game.
Yeah, he got tossed.
Seventh inning, he got dumped. He said his daughter, who, by the way, is a big Oklahoma fan, still from their time here, looked, and as it was all taking place, he said, "Is Daddy going to get arrested?"
Yeah, that's funny.
He was not arrested, just ejected from that game. But so good to talk to him about how close they are. And you ask Clay Van Hook about Skip Johnson, and he just runs out of words to describe him. He's a mentor. He's a friend. He's been there for him through just about everything since he went off to college to play for Skip Johnson.
Yeah, it's a great relationship between those two. Obviously been friends for a long time, with Skip recruiting him and playing for him and coaching with him.
Dylan Crook's on here to pitch. He retires Garrison Berkeley for the first out in the fifth inning. That brings on Kason Gregory. Kason Gregory had a base hit. Speaking of Dylan Crooks, Dylan's brother Jimmy was on Oklahoma's College World Series team, and Jimmy now in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. He got drafted after that. Gregory is after that one, and it is 0-2. The thing really about Dylan Crooks, he has not walked very many at all this year, Rich.
Yeah, he's always in the zone. Either they're going to hit it and get out, or he's going to strike somebody out.
He's only walked one in 10 innings of work this year. And he has his first strikeout of the night as he retires the number 9 batting Kason Gregory.
It's usually a recipe for success, you know. Don't walk a lot of guys. Give your defense a chance to make plays behind you.
Back to the top for J.D. Moreno. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out tonight. Oh, 2 quickly on the leadoff man, Moreno. Dylan Crooks is the 4th Sooner pitcher of the night. Carson Atwood pitched an inning. Then Will Karsten went 2 innings. Those could be important. He struck out 3 and maybe gained a little confidence tonight.
Yeah, I hope so. I said like we talked about, his stuff is really good. Just need to work on that 6 inches between his ears.
That's just it. It is such a mental game.
He could be a big part of that bullpen with the stuff that he has.
Laced back up the middle into center field by Moreno. He has his first hit. And the 4th hit of the night for the Mavs.
Yeah, just pretty good piece of hitting there. That wasn't a bad pitch. Ball sinking low and away. Just did a good job of sitting back on it and driving it up the middle.
And Skip Johnson out of the dugout. Looks like a pitching change. Indeed, there will be. We see a Sooner coming out of the bullpen. So Crooks gets a couple of outs for the Sooners here, and he'll be replaced by Ryan Lambert when we return.
So if I make this, you got to be my fall guy for the day. All right.
Ander out of Excelsior, Minnesota. He is the 5th Sooner pitcher of the night. Double transfer. He spent 2022 at Northern Iowa Area Community College, and then last season at Missouri State. Trying to get him a little bit of confidence as well. Came in against Oklahoma State and gave up 3 walks, but he's had some good outings, including a week ago, an inning pitched, and it was scoreless against Wichita State in that Sooner win.
Another guy with, electric stuff. Just trying to find a way to be consistent. And he's got some of the best stuff on this staff. He can run it up there mid-upper 90s.
So Lambert on here with 2 outs and J.D. Moreno at first base. Oklahoma led this game 9-0. Another good night from Jackson Willits, who's driven in 3 runs for the Sooners. Easton Carmichael has a 2-run double, but the Mavericks starting to show signs of life offensively here the last 2 innings. And Ryan Black stands in. He had a base hit and scored a run in the 4th for UT Arlington. Sooners looking for their 7th consecutive win in the series between these teams. And you can build yourself into a mid-major power, as we have seen Dallas Baptist do over the years, Rich. It is certainly doable.
You know, Dallas Baptist has been consistent for a decade, it seems like.
Dan Hefner taking that program over. Regular trips to the NCAA tournaments.
Yeah, even when I played here and coached here, UTA always had a very solid program. I mean, it was always tough, especially going down there.
0-2 here on Black. Outside, and Easton Carmichael couldn't quite get a handle on it. Moreno had started for second base, so he'll get a stolen base out of that. And 1-2 on Black. Pulled toward the Mavericks dugout. Two balls, 2 strikes now on Ryan Black.
They got the shift on. Woods on the right side of second base.
Willits will have to range back over for this. Throws off balance and got him. Beautifully done there by the Sooner shortstop, Jackson Willits. A base hit and a man left for the Mavericks. We are midway through this one in Norman. Sooners on top. 9 O'Neill Classic, Nebraska and Kansas. That is in Lawrence. And the Jayhawks on top. You see Texas a 5-0 lead. Oklahoma State a 5-0 lead at Wichita State as well. And some cancellations as well. TCU's game against UTRGV, Baylor, Dallas Baptist, Texas Tech, and Abilene Christian. All of them will not be played. And BYU leads 2-1 at Utah. Our score 9-2. Oklahoma trying to sweep the UT Arlington Mavs for the season. Isaiah Lane is 2 for 2 as he faces the new pitcher Garrett Gerner for the Mavericks. Winsboro, Texas native. Maybe steadied himself with a scoreless inning pitched a week ago tonight against TCU. He is the 5th pitcher of the night used by the Mavericks. Good night for Isaiah Lane. Scored a run after his base hit in the 3rd. That pitch is low. Funny how when the sun goes down, the wind does this.
Yeah, slowed down quite a bit.
I mean, we had 25-mile-an-hour gusts an hour ago. Now we have virtually no wind.
Yeah, it's almost blowing straight down.
2-2, bounced to first, picked up by Armstrong. One down. Saw that Big 12 scoreboard. You think about what's coming up this weekend. You've got Oklahoma and Kansas State, a big one here. West Virginia has started to get hot. They've won 4 straight. They swept Kansas in Lawrence over the weekend.
Kansas is a tough place to play sometimes. Weather, it seems like the weather's never good. It's hard to get to. You got to fly into Kansas City and bus over.
Rocco Garza Gongora in here. One away. He had a base hit and scored a run in the Sooner third. Oklahoma 4 runs in the first, 5 in the third. Two balls and a strike now to Rocco Garza Gongora.
For something up in the zone here.
Had Oklahoma men's tennis coach Nick Kroll throw out the first pitch tonight. It was a low strike, Rich.
Yeah, it was.
It was in the zone.
Yeah, he was on the rubber. He got it there.
Yeah. His team's been hot. They won 11 straight matches before they lost to Texas over the weekend. As Garza Gongora lifts one to left. That'll be caught by Ryan Ellis for the second out.
Yeah, they have that nice facility across the street.
The Headington Family Tennis Center over there. And in fact, men's tennis, Nick Kroll's team will play their regular season finale, and it'll be Bedlam, 1 o'clock on Saturday. Here is Anthony McKenzie, 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored. Anthony got hit by a pitch and scored a run in the first, and then he drove home a run with a base hit in the third and also scored a run. McKenzie rips this one into right field for his second hit of the night. And he has been on base 3 times in 4 trips to the plate.
Another good swing. They did a good job of getting their hips through almost everybody in this lineup. You can clear those hips, make room for your hands, especially when you're trying to pull the ball.
And here's Bryce Madron. Madron also has scored 2 and driven in 1. He has extended his hitting streak to 12 games tonight.
Like you were talking about earlier, he's got a really good eye. Doesn't get himself out very often swinging at bad pitches.
He's walked again tonight. He scored after he walked in the first. 29 walks on the year. I mean, it's that pitch right there.
Yeah.
What percentage of college hitters would you say would swing at that pitch?
Most of them. Guys see the ball up, see a fastball up, especially a guy that's not overpowering, think they can just get on top of it and do something with it, maybe try to hit it out of the ballpark and get themselves out.
McKenzie back into first. Landren takes his walk.
Oh,
So he has walked twice tonight and 30 times on the year.
yeah, with only 18 strikeouts, I mean, you don't see numbers like that very often. He's just a polished hitter.
That's a good way to put it, that word, polished. And here's Easton Carmichael, who polished a 2-run double into the gap in left center his last time up. His second hit of the night. And Carmichael takes a strike. 2 for 3 tonight is Easton. Now batting .350 on the year. He's driven in 28. Check swing, foul ball, and it's fair. The tag applied, and the inning is over. So Carmichael, I believe, thought it hit his foot or that it was going to be called a foul ball. It was not. And so he bounces out to the catcher, 2 unassisted. You don't write that very well. The Sooners are one of the many Big 12 conference teams that UT Arlington will face. They have split a pair with TCU, played Texas Tech. They still have Baylor coming up on the schedule. They'll play them on the 16th of April. They go to Texas, Clay Van Hook's alma mater. They have a 3-game series at Houston and another game at Baylor. Making trips all around the Lone Star State and all around the Big 12 are the Mavs. Ryan Lambert out to the mound for the Sooners once again, and this pitch is bunted and nearly caught by Easton Carmichael off the bat of Tyson Pointer.
Yeah, great effort by Carmichael. Had it there for a second, bounced, popped out when he hit the ground. Tell you what,
man.
Not many catchers can cover that much ground. He gets it, but then when he hits the ground, it just comes loose. Yeah, he's got really good speed for a catcher.
He's 7 of 10 in the stolen base category this year. Do catchers get mad when you say for a catcher? He can really run the first for a catcher.
Right. I mean, they shouldn't, but most catchers can't run. At least not like that.
Pointer goes after the 0-2. He's out on strikes.
Said Lambert's got good stuff. Just a nasty slider. I mean, it looks like a fastball coming in there and just sharp break 6 inches away. You got no chance.
That is 8 strikeouts for Sooner pitching tonight. They have had 15 games with double-digit strikeouts this year. And Ryan Ellis will be the batter. He's 1 for 2. He had a base hit back in the 4th. Each team has used 5 pitchers so far. Your typical midweek type of game. Ellis goes after a high pitch and hits it fair past third. Kendall Pettis up with it out in left field. And it's a 1-out double for Ryan Ellis.
Not a bad piece of hitting there. Lambert left the ball up on that. Actually, a slider didn't slide. It was hanging. He got on top of it and barely squeezed it inside the line. And that's the sliders you want to hit as a hitter. Something above the belt.
It's the 7th double of the year for Ryan Ellis and his second hit of the night. UT Arlington now with 5 hits total. And here is Parker Earhart.
There's the good one.
Earhart 0 for 2. leads UT Arlington with 6 home runs.
We were talking about his stuff. I mean, 95 on the inside corner there, and the first pitch, slider down and away. He can be consistent. He's got electric stuff.
Fouled out of play by Parker Earhart. Showed you the schedule for UT Arlington. Oklahoma has the #1 strength of the schedule in the country. A win over #9 Tennessee. You look at some of the teams that Oklahoma has beaten this year that have huge RPIs. As the 0-2 is pulled to Willits at short, and he will get the second out. Down to third goes Ellis. But Oklahoma, with that win over Tennessee, their RPI is 11. Sooners swept UCF. UCF's RPI is 7. Oklahoma State's RPI 26. Dallas Baptist 20. And Nebraska, that Nebraska win, a big win as well for Skip Johnson Sooners, as Nebraska's RPI is 18. Here's Armstrong, who is 0 for 2.
It's amazing how good a lot of these teams are. You know, the parity with the portal has done a lot.
You can get better quickly. You know, we saw a team here in Norman a week ago in Oral Roberts. They made it all the way to the College World Series last year. And they didn't do it all with transfers, but they certainly helped. Straight at Rocco Garza-Gongora in center field for the final out. Hit hard by Tice Armstrong. And Ryan Ellis left stranded at third. 9-2 Oklahoma as we move to the... Back to the bullpen for the Mavericks, and Jason Scranton is on. The junior is the 6th pitcher of the night used by UT Arlington. Scranton came through Dallas College Richland, and he pitched in the first meeting between these two teams, pitched a third of an inning and gave up a hit but a couple of walks. Hasn't pitched a lot, Rich, just 7 2/3, but he's only given up 2 earned runs.
Yeah, still seems pretty efficient. I mean, walks, strikeouts about even. Doesn't look like he's got overpowering stuff, at least after that first pitch. Just one of those guys who comes in and try to eat up some innings.
Michael Snyder fouls this pitch back. Snyder walked and scored in the 4-run Sooner first. He's also flied out and lined out. He skies this one out of here.
Irvin was drafted in 2018, Cavalli in 2020, and Bennett in 2022. Irvin and Cavalli shared a rotation at Oklahoma.
Bouncing ball, the second baseman, Black, was shifted more towards second base and easily retires Michael Snyder. Major League Baseball season is well underway. Lots of Oklahoma pitchers in the big leagues these days, including some that Carly Murray's going to tell us about now.
Jake Irvin, Cade Cavalli, and Jake Bennett have all had an eerily similar career path. They were all pitchers at Oklahoma under Skip Johnson. All were drafted by the Washington Nationals, and each have had Tommy John surgery. Irvin was drafted in 2018, Cavalli in 2020, and Bennett in 2022. Irvin and Cavalli shared a rotation at Oklahoma as well as Cavalli and Bennett. Irvin said, "That's what we do at Oklahoma. We breathe pitchers." They each spoke about how excited they were to text each other once they knew they were being drafted by the same organization as their previous teammate. As each of their careers progressed, they each had to have Tommy John surgery. When it was Cade Cavalli's turn, luckily for him, Jake Irvin was his roommate. Cavalli says, thank the good Lord I was roommates with Jake Irvin at the time. He was the first voice that I got to go home to. We shared a moment together. He said, hey man, this is an opportunity. This is the mindset you're going to have going into it. It's a positive moment. Cavalli says he's 11 and a half months out and everything Irvin said is true. Check out the full 6-minute interview on X at OU Baseball.
Yeah, thank you, Carly. It's good stuff. They talk about Skip Johnson and Oklahoma baseball, what it's meant to them. Irvin and Cavalli are on the Nationals roster as this one is gathered up by Ryan Black to throw out Nicholas.
Now back to the Citizens. Left fielder number 7, Ken Dahl.
Jake Bennett is in high A ball, I believe, now with the Nationals. High A ball, maybe double A. I have not checked last few days. But they could all three be in the big leagues together on the same pitching staff in the next year or two.
Yeah, that'd be impressive. 3 guys from the same school, all on the same staff.
Kendall Pettis with 2 down and the base is clear. And he's down 0-2 against Scranton. Pettis had a sacrifice fly to drive in a run in the first and had a sacrifice bunt in the third. Two and two.
Wanted that one. Everybody was moving.
Pettis pulls this one foul outside of third. Kendall Pettis, one of those guys from the College World Series team that Oklahoma had that Clay Van Hook, the UTA coach, is still very close to. He bounces this one to short. Kason Gregory throws him out. A 1-2-3 6th inning for Jason Scranton out of the Mavericks bullpen. Sooners on top 9-2 as we move out of Peoria, Illinois. And he made his first appearance just a week ago, Rich. Went 1 inning in Oklahoma's win against Wichita State.
Yeah, it looks like he's got decent stuff. I think he's trying to fill innings here. Give him an opportunity. You know, it's like to talk about these midweek games is good for these guys to get opportunity to get innings and show that they can do something.
Kaiser Harrington is going to also pinch hit here for UT Arlington. So Kaiser Harrington bats in the number 7 spot, replacing Tate Bethel, who'd been 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Ullman runs a fastball in there for a strike. Kaiser Harrington, just a freshman out of Midlothian, Texas. His 13th at bat of the year, only the 6th game in which he has played. Two balls and a strike to him now. That'll square things. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitching has kind of settled things down after Oklahoma got 9 runs in the first 3 innings. UT Arlington started to show signs of life in the 4th, but nobody has scored since then.
Pretty good pitch there.
A little tall. Called by plate umpire John Wolf. And there's ball 4. The payoff is up and away to Harrington. Garrison Berkeley will be the batter with the leadoff man aboard.
Center fielder number 15, Garrison Berkeley.
Berkeley 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to center field tonight. There's a strike from Jason Bowman. Couple of off-speed pitches there.
Yeah, two good ones. Starting pitching them backwards. See if he triples up.
Just past Nicholas, an 0-2 single into right field by Berkeley. To third, the throw to Harrington, and he is safe at third base after the tag applied by Isaiah Lane. As Kaiser Harrington stretches all the way around to third on the throw by Bryce Madron.
Yeah, good job here. Stays back. Ball gets deep and just pushes it past Nicholas out there diving for that. Good throw by Madron. Just a hair off. Kind of surprised they tried to take third there, down by 7.
The fingers of Harrington trying to convince third base umpire Mike Morris that Harrington was off the bag or had slid past it after the dive. To no avail, and it's first and third with nobody out. Kason Gregory had a base hit back in the third. Six hits now for UT Arlington.
Bowman looking for a pop-up or strikeout here to try to keep the runner at third.
He is the 6th Sooner pitcher of the night. One and two as he went after that one.
I think he was guessing there. Way out in front of that slider.
And strike 3, they appeal to the first base umpire, Schiller Smith, who says, yes, he went around.
Yeah, another good slider. Tries to hold up, but can't do it. And that pitch wasn't even close to the zone. He still offered at it. A good thing for Bowman now, ground ball, double play, and get him out of this inning.
It is Bowman's first strikeout. And for Oklahoma pitching on the night, number 9. Here's the leadoff man, J.D. Moreno, who singled his last time. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Still activity out in the Oklahoma bullpen. Noah saw Jet Lotus out there as one of those getting loose. Two 2-0 on Moreno now.
Calm down, get back in there. Pitch with the lead, you got to throw strikes.
Mavericks have rolled the lineup over. That one just missed away. 3-0. Bowman in danger of loading the bases with only one out. And they are loaded. So 2 walks and a base hit for the Mavericks. And they've got something brewing in the 7th.
Now back to UTA.
Yeah, still ground ball away. But he's going to have to get back in the zone to get one.
These are those moments. Can you rebound? Can you get outs when you need to? Can you earn the confidence of Skip Johnson, who is out of the dugout now and maybe headed back to the bullpen? Asking Skip Johnson about the walks today, and is he frustrated about walks? He said more frustrated about not attacking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times guys lose control and they get a little timid, not stay aggressive in the zone. A lot of times guys get in a zone where they're afraid to throw to contact. And Skip talks about that, about throwing to contact a lot. Throw it down there and let the pitch work. Don't try to do too much with it.
The process, having the conviction to throw strikes.
Yeah.
And Jason Bowman's trying to find that right now. He'll have to deal with the heart of this lineup, though, for UT Arlington. Ryan Black, the second baseman, is 1 for 3. He singled and scored back in the 4th inning. That's when UTA did all of its scoring. Pretty good pitch there from Bowman.
Started him off with a good slider. I think Black was looking fastball.
The 0-1 down and in. We were talking with Clay Van Hook about Ryan Black today, and he was at Oklahoma as an assistant when Peyton Graham came through. Peyton Graham had a freshman All-American first season, then kind of had some little minor injuries, was dinged up a little bit as a sophomore and didn't perform as well. He said that's happened a little bit to Ryan Black this year, but we all know how that worked out for Peyton Graham.
He had an outstanding junior year.
Oklahoma rolled all the way to the national championship game, and Peyton Graham got drafted in the 2nd round by the Detroit Tigers. Swing and a miss there, so he has found that hard breaking pitch as Jason Bowman. He has 2 strikeouts in the inning.
I mean, 3 sliders in a row, and all of them were good. That's got some depth to it. It's got a lot of down, not just down and across, but a lot of down movement on that.
I was wondering if Bowman wears number 99 in honor of Rick Wild Thing Vaughn.
Yeah.
Do you think? Major League?
He had the glasses.
Here's Tyson Pointer. I will not break into my Bob Uecker, Harry Doyle impersonation, but I will say this. Bob Uecker called opening day for the Milwaukee Brewers on the radio at age 90, Rich.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What a part of baseball he is.
I mean, he has been my whole life, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember him doing commercials back in the day.
Yeah. He did beer commercials,
Yeah.
which they're trying to revive these days. Tyson Pointer 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 4th. 2 down, and the base is full. He was late on that one, maybe guessing.
Yeah, but that was a breaking ball. I mean, if he'd been guessing fastball, you'd think he'd been a little early. I think he just hadn't made up his mind. It was more like no, yes, instead of the other way around. He's called that one a few times tonight.
Fans getting a little grumpy on that one. A walk means a run. And there is ball 4. And it's 9-3 now. It is the third walk issued in the inning by Jason Bowman. And Skip Johnson forced to go to the bullpen here with 2 down and the bases full in the 7th inning. Skip Johnson this time summons the reliable Jet Lotus to try to put out the fire in the 7th inning.
The most important part of a heist is being aware of potential dangers. I tricked myself!
Lotus trying to get the final out in the 7th inning. Reliable guy out of the bullpen, including in the Bedlam series this past weekend, a scoreless inning and a third against Oklahoma State, Rich.
Yeah, he's been really good out of the bullpen. 16 strikeouts, 8 walks, which are good numbers. Fills it up and is not afraid to pitch to contact.
Mentioning Lotus and Atwood, and we saw Atwood start the game. He pitched a scoreless inning, and now Lotus, they're the only pitchers who've been on staff for 4 years. Skip Johnson works wonders with so many guys, but sometimes time's limited. And to have Lotus and Atwood for so long and having them be effective, I mean, you think back, 2022, we've talked a lot about that season tonight. Incredible run. Clay Van Hook was on the staff with Skip Johnson. But Oklahoma had 7 pitchers drafted in that draft.
Yeah, you lose a lot. And the other thing we talked about too is the portal. Usually, guys are bouncing around the bullpen or whatever, and they think they can go somewhere else, and they transfer. Usually, don't stick around. And it kind of goes to credit Skip Johnson for being able to mentor these guys and have a good relationship to them where they don't want to leave.
3-0 here to Ellis, and a walk would mean another run. Ellis is 1 for 2 with a double tonight. I should say 2 for 3 with a double. And he takes a strike, discards the bat. It's rung up by the plate umpire, John Wolf. Harrison Berkeley is at third, Moreno at second, Pointer at first. And that's another walk and another run. So Ellis gets credit for the run batted in. He drives home Berkeley. And it's a 9-4 game. And now the Mavericks are going to bring the tying run to the on-deck circle.
Not what Skip was looking for coming out of the pen there.
Big hack there by Earhart. He was trying to make it a 1-run game right there.
The wind not blowing anymore. It's possible.
Earhart 0 for 3 with a strikeout and 2 groundouts to the shortstop Willits in this game.
Just amazes me sometimes. The guys come out of the pen and he walks the guy on 5 pitches, and then all of a sudden 2 really good fastballs. Like,
where was that?
Yeah. Did you need more time warming up, or?
Four unanswered runs for UT Arlington after Oklahoma led 9-0. Lotus down and away.
Threw the first 2 fastballs by him, and he goes to the slider.
Earhart's hit 9 home runs on the year, and he fouls this one out of play. It'll stay 2-2 to the catcher.
The key here for Lotus is not try to do too much with a pitch. Just throw it and let it work. Don't try to overthrow it.
Pulled outside of third. It stays 2-2. Parker Earhart. 3 home runs in 6 at-bats for him in the UTRGV series. He had 5 hits on the weekend. does not yet have a hit against Oklahoma in 2 games this year. He's 0 for 6 overall. Good play there by Carmichael. Count goes full.
They're going to be running.
There they go, the 3-2. Well hit to right field, but plenty of real estate for Madron, and the inning is over. 2 runs on a hit, no errors, and the bases left loaded by UT Arlington. 9. Jacob Hasty is the 7th pitcher of the game for UT Arlington. The left-hander goes to work against this Oklahoma lineup. 7th inning stretch time at L. Mitchell Park in Norman, alongside the former Sooner national champion, Rich Hills. I'm Chad McKee. This guy, Jacob Hasty, is in a spot now where his club's kind of gotten him back in the game. Now, can he go through strikes?
Yeah, no, they've done a good job coming back. They've got some free passes and done a good job of not swinging at balls and scored a few runs. They're back in the game for sure. Now they just got to try to throw up some zeros and give their offense a couple more chances to score some more.
Jackson Willits has driven in 3 runs tonight and 10 runs in his last 5 games. Willits, Lane, and Garza Gongora for Oklahoma, the scheduled hitters. Hasty has had 2 prior stops at the collegiate level. So he goes to work against Willits. The 1-0 is in there for a called strike. Jacob Hasty is out of Keller, Texas. Spent 3 seasons at LSU, 2020, 21, and 22. And then last season he was at Missouri. 11 relief appearances at Missouri. Willits bunts foul. The count is 1-2.
Pretty good attempt there. Dead in that drag bunt really well. Got it on the end. Just a little too much spin. Made it go foul.
Jacob Hasty pitched a scoreless inning against Oklahoma in the game between these 2 teams in Arlington back on March the 13th. There is a breaking pitch for a called strike 3. 1 down.
Yeah, pretty good pitch there. Sharp breaking ball down in the zone. That's definitely a strike. Just froze him up. Couldn't pull the trigger.
So this pitching staff for UT Arlington, really since Cade McGlade came on, has gotten the job done. This one is bounced through the right side by Isaiah Lane, who has his 3rd hit of the night.
Freshman's been really good at the plate tonight. 3 singles, 2 to the opposite field.
That is Oklahoma's 2nd hit since the 3rd inning. See if it starts something for Rocco Garza Gongora. He had a base hit back in the 3rd. 1 for 3 tonight with a run scored. Nothing and 2 to the Sooner center fielder tonight.
Another good breaking ball. Get up on the bat here, choke up a little bit, spread out. Try to have a good 2-strike approach. Think opposite field, react in.
Pitches. Strike 3 called, but it'll be a stolen base for Isaiah Lane. as Rocco Garza Gongora gets rung up for the second out.
Now batting for the Sooners, designated hitter number 3, Anthony McKenzie.
Lane's stolen base is his first of the season. And the Sooners with a runner in scoring position and 2 down for McKenzie, who's been on base 3 times. 2 hits, 2 runs scored, and a run batted in for the Sooner DH tonight. McKenzie in the air to right center field. Long run for Tyson Pointer back to the warning track, and he can't get it. In to score comes Lane. McKenzie going to try for the triple, and he'll have a standing triple to give the Sooners a 10-4 lead in the 7th. 3rd hit of the night for Anthony McKenzie, and he's driven in his 2nd run.
Yeah, good piece of hitting. Kind of got in on him just a little bit, but with the wind not blowing in like it was earlier, he was able to carry to right center just over the right fielder Tyson Pointer's head.
About the night for Isaiah Lane, Rich. 3 hits and 2 runs scored for him now.
That's what we were talking about earlier. These freshmen, I mean, they've gotten quite a bit of opportunity this season so far, and they're starting to get their feet on the ground and play the game at a high level.
Madron is in. A run on 2 hits for the Sooners. McKenzie at third. Madron has been on base 3 times, 2 walks and a base hit.
That was a good swing there.
That's McKenzie's first triple of the year, by the way.
Yeah, I used to just slow down and stay a second. That's how I had so many doubles.
That's what it was, huh?
Yeah. No, I ran hard. I really wasn't that fast.
And that one pops out of the glove of Earhart, and it will chase home McKenzie with the 11th Sooner run. You going wild pitch or pass ball there?
I'm thinking wild pitch. That ball was up. You had to go up for it. That's part of the deals, too, and I don't like – I know it's the new thing now with catchers, down on a knee and doing all that, save knees and, lower target. But you can't get up to catch that pitch when you're on your knees like that.
Sooners re-extend the lead to 7. This one is rifled down the left field line by Madron, and it is just foul near the Oklahoma bullpen.
He hit that one good. I thought it was going to stay fair.
Man, he squares the ball up a lot.
He does.
So we'll do it all over again with Madron, who has scored 2 runs and driven in 1. Sooners now with 12 hits. Pulled to first base. Tice Armstrong will take it to the bag, and the inning is over. But the Sooners get 2 runs on 2 hits and take an 11-4 lead with them to the top of the 8th inning. Sooner Baseball is presented by...
It's a good time. Taco Mayo. Big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today.
There's right-hander Reed Hensley. He is the 8th pitcher of the night for the Sooners, trying to protect an 11-4 Oklahoma lead here in the 8th inning. 6'1" junior out of Lufkin, Texas. Began his collegiate career at Incarnate Word down in San Antonio, and then spent last season at Tyler Junior College. Sooners started the night with Carson Atwood. We've seen Will Karsten, Malachi Witherspoon, Dylan Crooks, Ryan Lambert, Jason Bowman, Jet Lotus, and now Reed Hensley. Nobody has gone longer than 2 innings. That was Will Karsten, who was the 2nd pitcher of the night for Skip Johnson. He'll face Tice Armstrong. He's 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of fly balls to the center fielder Rocco Garza Gongora. This pulled to third, but foul. Reed Hensley pitched a scoreless inning against UT Arlington in the first meeting between these teams.
Kinsley, another one of these guys, got good stuff.
Just 2 earned runs, 9 2/3 innings, and a good strikeouts to walks ratio. Two and two. A lot of analytics in the sport, in all sports now.
It's amazing stuff that's out there. It's overwhelming sometimes.
It's the application of it all. What's useful, what's not, and how do you use it? But give me that strikeouts to walks ratio with pitchers, and that'll give you a pretty good idea, won't it?
And the same thing with hitters, like we're talking about Madron.
See the Sooner bullpen still active. To right field. Speaking of Madron, he squeezes the first out in the 8th inning. Armstrong's hit the ball hard a couple of times.
Yeah,
nothing to show for it.
Yeah, lined out last time to center field.
One down in the 8th.
That batter for UTA, number 3, Kaiser Harrington.
Kaiser Harrington will be the batter again. He came on and pinch hit for Tate Bethel in the 7th inning. Drew a walk that started the inning, and then he came in to score on one of the bases loaded walks that was issued. Have we seen a pitcher tonight who can't throw 90 miles an hour plus, Rich?
Not on our side.
I mean, we've seen 15 guys.
Yeah.
High heat.
I remember when low 90s was really hard.
Oh, man. Maybe the radar guns were just off back then.
Well, they had 2 different kinds back then. One was faster than the other, the Jugs gun and the ray gun.
Mine was measured with a sundial. There's strike 3 called on the inner half to Harrington.
Yes.
11 more strikeouts for Sooner pitching.
So is my 65. I just had a really good first step. That's why I was able to stay on the infield, at least in the middle.
So Berkeley stands in with the bases empty and 2 down. He had a base hit and scored a run back in that 7th inning uprising. Sky high to shallow right field. Madron has a beat on it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Reed Hensley on the mound for the Sooners. Oklahoma leads 11-4 as we move to the bottom of the... He is the 8th pitcher of the night for the Mavericks. He's trying to hold the Sooners at bay and see if somehow the Mavericks can mount a rally in the 9th inning. But Stieber, 6'4", big guy, South Lake, Texas. Bullpen's done a solid job, in all honesty, you mentioned Kate McGlade, that kind of settled things.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma had not done much until they posted the 2 runs, including the McKenzie triple there in the 7th. But Oklahoma has scored only 2 runs in the last 4 innings.
Yeah, they've come in and done a pretty good job, like you said, holding them down until the last inning. The last bottom half, they've scored 2.
Easton Carmichael will be pinch hit for here by Patrick Engskov to lead off this inning. And Engskov swings at the first pitch, flies it out to Garrison Berkeley, the center fielder, for the first out. So Patrick Engskov. It's a pinch hitting role for Easton Carmichael, who had a good night. Carmichael had a 2-run double. Carmichael was 2 out of 4.
Yeah, lined out to left in that first inning when the wind was blowing in.
Michael Snyder, looking for his first hit of the night, will be the batter. He did walk and score back in the first. Sooners had 4 runs in the first and then 5 in the third, and have been comfortable pretty much all night long. In the air to right, pretty well hit. Pointer is back to the warning track, and it's off the wall. Snyder charges for second base, and he will land there with a 1-out double.
Yeah, he hit that ball well. I thought it had a chance off the bat.
I did too.
Yeah. Ball down. He did a good job staying through that ball. It's hard to hit a ball that hard to the opposite field when it's low like that. Usually those low balls you try to take right back up the middle. Just couldn't make a play on it off the wall. Maybe had a chance to go to third, but there's no need to risk it.
That is Snyder's team-leading 12th double for the Sooners. And it brings in Nicholas. Nicholas 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored in this game.
Definitely not a guy you want to fall behind on.
One and one the count on Jackson Nicholas. Nicholas walked and scored in the first, then singled and scored in the third. He has since then struck out and grounded out.
So you mean he's due?
He is. He is 17 for his last 32.
Amazing.
Squibs that one foul.
He's on one of those runs like Carmichael was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Jackson Nicholas with 7 home runs, leading the Sooners. .385 average coming into the game, 4th in the Big 12. And he swings through that one. Fastball from the right-hander. There is out number 2. So Stieber able to strike out Nicholas. And he will face Kendall Pettis now. Actually, we'll see a pinch hitter. Wondered if we would see Desan Harris or some of the others come in, and here is Desan Harris. He'll get the opportunity. Pulls this one foul up first base way. 3rd game in which Desan Harris has played. Does have a base hit. And he drove in a run with that base hit. Oh, 1 in the air to left field. Ryan Ellis circled it briefly, but charges over to make the play. And the inning is over, so Harris flies out to end the 8th. Sooners will try to wrap it up, leading 11 back for Skip Johnson and the Sooners. A 6'6" freshman out of Flower Mound, Texas. This is what they look like at the professional level, Rich Hills.
Yes.
And that's Jacob Golston, just his 2nd appearance of the year.
I mean, just a big guy, great arm. Guys like this that are tall like that, I mean, it looks like they're letting the ball go right on top of you.
Just whips it up there.
Yeah, got great stuff.
There you see Desan Harris came on to pinch hit for Kendall Pettis, and he is now playing right field. Gregory, and then the top of the order, Moreno and Black, the scheduled hitters here. Golston appeared against Dallas Baptist on the road on February 20th, and he gave up an earned run and one walk in that one. And that is the lone appearance for this tall, hard-throwing right-hander. He is the 9th pitcher of the night. 9 pitchers, 9 innings.
Welcome to midweek.
That's right. Oklahoma has Kansas State coming to Norman this weekend. Big matchup. Sooners and West Virginia tied for first in the Big 12. Kansas State is in a 4-way tie for 3rd place. And here is Kason Gregory, who's 1 for 3 with a base hit and 2 strikeouts.
Looks like a pretty good pitch.
That will get your attention. 3-0 the count. That is a 4-pitch walk issued to the pinch hitter, Jackson Hill, instead of Kason Gregory. So Jackson Hill pinch hits and draws a walk to start the 9th. And it will be J.D. Moreno to bat for himself up in the leadoff spot. Moreno's been on base twice. He singled in the 5th and walked in the 7th. He is 1 out of 3 officially.
Just needs to calm down. Just play catch. You throw hard enough. Just play catch with the catcher here.
That one bounces up there. Scott Mudler is now catching.
There we go.
Like a racehorse in the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby. Two and two now.
It's like we were talking about earlier. I mean, you throw 5 balls in a row, next 2 are right there.
Just needed some time to get acclimated, Rich. Man. I'm not going to venture a guess as to where that one was.
We're kind of offset up here, but that looked really good.
Payoff pitch coming to Moreno. Tap foul. We'll do it all over again. Another payoff pitch headed home. And ball 4, back-to-back walks to Hill and Moreno.
Try to come back with a slider, 3-2 slider right there. Just missed.
So here is Black now. Ryan Black is 1 out of 4. Singled and scored a run in the 4th inning.
The gun only says 92, but it looks a lot harder than that.
And as you said, he's 6'6". It's coming out like it's halfway to the plate by the time he releases.
It looks like an aspirin coming in there.
Just missed a little bit away with that, 1-1. Black started the scoring for UTA when he singled and came in to score on a bases-loaded walk in the fourth. Chance for the Mavs to get a little closer. Three balls and a strike. And Golston in danger of a walk that would load the bases for the heart of the order. High fly ball to right. Madron back near the warning track. Looks like he has room, and he does. Hill is going to tag at second and move on down the line to third on a long fly ball out off the bat of Ryan Black.
To be honest with you, I was kind of surprised he cut it loose there with the control problems Golston's been having.
Here's Tyson Pointer, 0 for 2 with their, should say 1 for 2 with the base hit and a walk tonight.
Last time I checked, you couldn't hit a 7-run homer.
Cannot. Not in this sport, at least. UT Arlington 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position tonight, which is the case here. 2-1 on Pointer.
And here's another one that I've seen this a few times this year. You know, they're giving him second base, not even close to holding you on. Just go. Take the double play out of it.
There's strike two.
If they're not holding them on, they're not going to throw down. So, I mean.
Yeah, they're going to let you have it.
Yeah, just take it.
And then the game likely isn't going to end on a ground ball on the infield. There goes the runner. And the count goes to 3-2.
I mean, as a base runner, that should be automatic. You look back there and the first baseman's back, you just go first pitch. Especially on a big guy like this. He's not trying to be fast to the plate. And he's got the high leg kick.
And ball four reloads the bases. Tyson Pointer heads to first, and Skip Johnson heads to the mound. One down, bases loaded here in the top of the ninth. Sooners trying to get the final 2 outs. Oklahoma has led all the way. They got 4 runs in the first. They added 5 more in the bottom of the third. Jacob Golston will leave here with the bases loaded. Sooners will send to the mound Brad Pruitt to try to finish it out.
Mathis Home is now a proud sponsor.
Pitcher of the night, the freshman from Corinth, Texas, has been good out of the bullpen for Skip Johnson this year. Just 1 earned run in his last 4 outings. He will try to put out the fire here. Last time we saw him was in the Lamar Series, Rich, so it's been a couple of weeks since Brad Pruitt's been out there.
Yeah, he's been doing well. Like you said, it's been a little bit since he's been out there, but I mean, he's got 8 strikeouts to 3 walks, so he can fill it up, and he's not scared to throw it in there.
He jumps right into the thick of things. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the cleanup man, Ryan Ellis, who's got 2 hits and a run driven in at the plate. Ellis singled in the 4th and then doubled in the 6th. He's also walked, so he's been on base his last 3 times. Brad Pruitt has that step kind of toward the first base side when he comes set right there. Is that a comfortability thing, Rich?
Yeah, usually something. A lot of times guys will, it's kind of like the opposite of a hitter. You know, sometimes they'll start open and end up closed so they don't step out and fly out. So maybe something that helps keep him closed instead of flying that front leg out.
There's strike one to Ellis. And strike two called on the outside edge. Ellis thought it was ball four. Sooner pitching tonight. 11 strikeouts, 7 walks. Gonna take a minute. That ball rolled all the way back out onto the field. Somebody from the UTA bullpen will have to collect it. So another payoff pitch coming to Ryan Ellis. Who'd you given the win to if Oklahoma wins? Nobody pitched more than 2 innings.
Right.
There is ball four.
Lord.
Bases loaded walk. That is the 3rd run that UT Arlington has scored in this game on a bases loaded walk.
Now batting for UTA, the catcher, number 10.
Skip Johnson, as you might imagine, quite frustrated by that. So it's the 2nd time that Ellis has walked. 4 walks in the inning. And here's Parker Earhart. Earhart is 0 for 4. Remember, this guy hit 3 home runs in 6 at-bats this weekend against UTRGV. One and two now.
Good slider.
And a swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 down.
Now batting for UTA. First
Yeah, another really good slider. 2 in a row. Got good depth on it. Sharp break. Only way you can hit that pitch is try to take it the other way.
2 down, and here is Tice Armstrong. That one rattles between the feet of the plate umpire, John Wolf. Tice Armstrong is 0 for 4 tonight. Hit the ball hard several times. He's flied to center field and lined out to the center fielder as well.
Is he going to check it for shoe polish?
One and one on Armstrong. Brad Pruitt, the 10th Oklahoma pitcher of the night, trying to finish things off. Oklahoma has led from the get-go. That is driven hard down the left field line as he turns and drives this one fair, and it is gone. And all of a sudden, we've got a ball game. It's a grand slam for Tice Armstrong. And it's 11-9 now.
Wow, just left that pitch up, and man, he put a good swing on it. Just drove it out of the ballpark.
Tice Armstrong blasts this one over the wall, his 3rd home run of the year. He has now driven in 18.
Just a slider that stayed up. He's thrown a few good ones. The previous at bat, but he just left that one up. It was just hanging. He put a charge into it.
And the Sooners will have to go to the bullpen for their 11th pitcher of the night. Bases are loaded, 2 down, and in to try to finish it is Brendan Gurton. Oklahoma unable to put away a fiery Mavericks from UT Arlington. The first, and in to try to finish it and get the final out for Oklahoma is Brendan Gurton, 6'1" junior right-hander. It has been tough to put the Mavericks away. The walks have been a big problem for the Sooners here. 4 walks in the inning. And then, boom, that grand slam by Armstrong. Kaiser Harrington is the scheduled hitter for the Mavs.
Yeah, that's rough. Like we talked about earlier, those unearned runs, just walking guys, leaving guys out there and giving them an opportunity to come back and get back in the game.
Gurton came out of the bullpen in the Oklahoma State series in game number 3 for 2 1/3 innings. Gave 1 earned run. Made 6 starts. He's one of the heroes of Oklahoma's win over Tennessee early in the year when they beat the 9th-ranked Vols. Kaiser Harrington will be the batter. Be his 3rd plate appearance. He came on and pinch hit and drew a walk to start the 7th inning. He would eventually score. Then he struck out in the 8th inning.
Number 3, Kaiser Harrington.
Reno, Pointer, and Ellis all scored on the home run by Armstrong.
Hello.
That is a shot into the dugout. Sends bodies scattering like bowling pins down there. Oh, 2. A bases-loaded walk and a grand slam in the inning. 5 runs for the Mavs. And now Oklahoma is just potentially 1 pitch away from a win.
Looked like he tried to overthrow that one.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Harrington. And a full count now.
You can go at him here. You don't want to bring the tying run to the plate.
Burton. Walked him. 5th walk of the inning. And as Rich said, the tying run will come to the plate in the person of Garrison Berkeley. Garrison Berkeley is 1 out of 4 tonight. "12 strikeouts, 9 walks for Oklahoma pitching in this game." Gurton right back with a strike. Berkeley singled and scored back in the 7th. And it's 0-2. Gurton makes it look so easy at times, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what I've been talking about all night long. All these guys have electric stuff, and when they're going good, it just looks easy.
There's ball 1 in the turf.
I mean, I'd hate to see what this pitching staff can do if all those guys can get going.
2-2.
They played good defense behind them. Fielding percentage, OU's pretty good.
Full count. A walk puts the tying run aboard. In the air, down the right field line, foul ground and caught to finish it by Michael Snyder. And the Sooners win it. But it was a little unsteady coming to the wire.
Yeah, a little rattling there at the end with all the walks.
Sooners win it and sweep the season series with the Mavs 2-0. Oklahoma now 18-14 on the